It's Winterfest 98 at Seven Springs, a sneak peek. Today's show's being brought to you by your All-Star Jeep Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your All-Star Jeep Eagle dealers. And by TCI. For digital service, call 771-1300. By Best Buy in Robinson Town Center, Century 3, South Hills and North Hills. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea. By IKEA. It's a big country, someone's got to furnish it. And by Aerial Communications, your local wireless company that offers true per-second billing, local calls in 412 and 814, and no long-term contracts. By Reese Warehouse. Between Uniontown and Morgantown, why buy retail? Buy Reese. By hell of a good quality foods. You'll love it, we swear. And by Kohl's. The brand names you love, the low prices you need. Kohl's, that's more like it.
98. The slopes are filling up, the sky is blue, the weather is perfect, and there is plenty of snow. Jerry Martz has been up here all weekend. He's been enjoying the slopes and the weather. He'll be joining us soon, and I'm Liz Miles. Welcome to Winterfest 98. It is great to have all of you here with us on this gorgeous day. The sky is so blue, I can't believe it. Every year, this is our 11th, every year it just keeps getting better. It's a week-long celebration of all kinds of fun in the snow. We're going to give you a sneak peek of all the activities. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to show you highlights of yesterday's Celebrity Olympics. You'll take a look at the athletes and the non-athlete members of our Channel 4 News team. We will also follow a family through a weekend getaway experience at Seven Springs. There is just so much to do. We're going to show you a little bit of that. And we'll take a look at the dark side of the mountain and what goes on while you're asleep. We'll also take a look at some other nighttime activities available here. There's a good time kicking off as Winterfest 98 continues. And right now we're going to go slopeside and catch up with Jerry Martz and Herb Stevens, the man that every avid skier wishes he could work right alongside. Jerry, it's a gorgeous day.
Oh, Liz, could not be better. There are good days for skiing, and then there are days like this which come along maybe a few times a year. We certainly hope that you're going to join us here. As Herb Stevens, the skiing weatherman, has done. We've been here for a good part of the weekend. Herb, of course, you took part of the Celebrity Olympics. Thank you very much. And a little bit about yourself and being the skiing weatherman. It sounds like a great job. Is that really the case?
I can't deny that, Jerry. It is a great job, and I guess I should explain, you know, I've got a Patriots hat in Steeler country, but everyone should know that I'm married to a woman who went to Baldwin High School in South Hills. Chris Router was her maiden name, and I hear a lot of talk about the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Pirates in my home, but I'm a native New Englander. I make my home in Rhode Island, and the skiing weatherman has been around for 10 years now, and I travel to a different resort every week to tape the report, and then I go back to a post-production facility in Providence. We make 13 versions of the report for 34 cities up and down the East Coast, and it's distributed by satellite. Now, everybody thinks I just hang out at resorts. It's not true. It takes us about 2.5 hours to tape the report, and then I'm gone. Yeah. But I do have the freedom to attend events like the Winterfest here and the Celebrity Olympics, as I have this year, and I had a great time yesterday. By the way, Oliver Gibson looked great in this hat.
He did? He did. Well, more about the Celebrity Olympics. Thanks a lot for joining us, sir. We'll be talking to you more again later on in a couple of minutes. And it looks like, Liz, that things are just hopping up here. A lot of skiers and great weather. How are things down there at the lodge?
Oh, the lodge is very active too, Jerry, and we're going to be catching up with both of you folks in just a little while. Right now, though, that the holidays are over, cabin fever is kind of set in, and if you are looking for some place to get away from it all, obviously we have a great suggestion. Right now, we're going to catch up with the Marceau family, and they're going to show us how it's done. It's a Thursday afternoon, and in your search for a family weekend getaway, you come across Ski Magazine. You find that one of the top 10 family resorts is just 60 miles from Pittsburgh. 24 hours later, the drive up the mountain doesn't seem bad at all. And although everyone has a different idea of fun...
Okay, guys, after we check in, what do you want to do?
Let's go to the game room. Let's go miniature golfing.
Bowling. Okay.
Checking in at the main lodge is effortless. Skiing is always an option, even the virtual kind. Or maybe good old-fashioned pool is more your style. Of course, there's more than one kind of pool. Fast table games and theater-like battle games are also popular. But if you'd rather hit the links, 18 holes of the miniature variety are also available, and always fun for the kids. Maybe the lanes strike your interest. But don't forget about some plain old roller skating as an option. And when you run out of steam, get a good night's rest and get ready for a light workout in the morning at the spa or on the court. Outdoor outdoor activities are plentiful, but there's nothing quite like a sleigh ride view of southwestern Pennsylvania. And of course, skiing, snowboarding, and tubing are great in the snow fun. Tubing is the only activity in which you can build your own family train. All right, that's just a taste of what's available here for families. Scott Bender is the, I think, Vice President of Fun up here at Seven Springs. You could say that. Where else can families find out about what's going on at Seven Springs?
One of the things that we got ranked, speaking of the family activities, Ski Magazine, the January edition, rated Seven Springs among the top 10 family resorts in North America. So that's quite an honor for us here in the East. But our internet page, our website, address www.numeral7springs.com.
All right, we'll look it up. We'll find out all kinds of things. Plus, we're going to have more for you. Stay with us. Winterfest is officially underway here at Seven Springs, and coming up next, we're going to look inside the nightlife here. You might be surprised at just how much you can do after the lifts shut down. And we'll travel the night shift with the unsung heroes of Seven Springs, the groomers and the snowmakers. You'll be amazed. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Mike Clark. I'm having a great time here at Seven Springs with my family. This is my son, Matthew. This is my son, Michael. Where do you guys want to go right now?
Snow tubing! Snow tubing!
We're going to go snow tubing. Come on up and join us.
Welcome back to Winterfest 98. We are live, and as you can see, the slopes are great. Everybody is having a wonderful time, and the roads are even clear. Scott Bender is still with me, and yesterday we had one of the greatest experiences, the Celebrity Olympics.
We did.
And this is Steelers and TAE people.
The spirit of the Pittsburgh Steelers were unbelievable, wasn't it?
They were. We've got some footage of it here. There's Mike Clark. We have 4 basic events. What are they?
The inner tube race, the chair on the skis race, the head spin around the ski pole race, and the tug of war. There's the inner tube race. The Steelers, I think, excelled in that one.
Yes, and this is these are your ski patrol guys who are trying to stop them after they come hurtling down the slopes.
They're buffering the bean bags. That's right. That's right. I think that is as much fun as the celebrities.
Now, do you remember who the #1 male winner was?
Yes, Randy Fuller from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right.
Do you remember who the #1 female was?
Yes, as always, Sally Wiggin walked away with the gold medal.
She did.
And this is the head spin. This
it
looks like Mindy and Nina Pineda.
Yes.
That's much harder than it looks. You get totally dizzy, and everybody was cheating on this.
They were. I don't think anyone hit the bullseye with the snowball.
We had a lot of spectators, and we had a surprise MC.
We did. Oliver Gibson of the Pittsburgh Steelers has a career when he's finished with football. We all agreed to that.
We could not get the microphone away from him, and right now we're going to catch up with Jerry, who is on the slopes. What's going on up there, Jerry?
Well, Liz, we're seeing a lot of skiers come down, and of course the snowboarders seem to be growing in number every year, and of course I had to don the shades. It's terribly bright up here. If you'd use terrible, it's beautiful sunshine, blue skies, temperatures are mild. I didn't even have to wear a jacket up here. But what we were talking about was the snowboarders, and they're gaining in popularity now. About 20% of the enthusiasts you'll see on the hill are snowboarding, and it's continually gaining in that popularity. This year there's a nifty new binding system that's making its debut.
With the new system, we also found that the beginners are advancing a lot faster. The difference now, you'll basically see on the old type systems, they had the backing that was on the binding. What they did now with the new step-in system, the step-in system doesn't have a backing. They've taken that off and put it in the back of the boot. So you still have stability to go back and forth on the board edge.
And for the most part, since the binding system is relatively new, I'm sure that a lot of the snowboarders are going to try it out this year. And just looking at the slopes behind the camera, I'd say the number is higher than 20%. And we're really looking forward to that new system coming out to help the snowboarders. Another interesting note that here at Seven Springs, they do offer courses for snowboarding clinics. Now, the last snowboarding clinic to be held will be next weekend, the 7th and 8th, and we're also going to be back up here next weekend for Winterfest. If you'd like to participate in that, contact the ski school to make the arrangements, and that's the last snowboarding clinic of this year. And off top of the hill here, things are looking great. Liz, back to you at the lodge.
Thanks, Jerry. And we all know that as much as those hardcore skiers wish they could ski round the clock, the slopes do have to close down sometimes. The good news is there's lots happening here after the last lift stops running. When the chairlift's empty and the slopes close down, the nightlife at Seven Springs is just beginning. As you head in to thaw out, stop first at the Foggy Goggle, a relaxing environment where you can enjoy some live music and food, and of course, warm up the essentials. But if it's a more upbeat evening that you're looking for, you can dance the night away at the Matterhorn. Overlooking the slopes, a live DJ keeps you moving, and some even feel the need for eye protection. Or if you and your significant other desire peace, quiet, and a majestic view, you can enjoy some private time in the new outdoor hot tubs. Located mountainside, the surroundings couldn't be more perfect. Now, for all you romantics out there, we want to let you know you can get those hot tubs with champagne, and you can reserve them for a half hour, an hour, or even a 2-hour session. There is another side of nightlife here at Seven Springs that many people are unaware of. Right now, Jerry Martz explains.
Before you do this, which yields to this, something big has to happen. They are the unknown. They come together every night from early in November until late in March. Their job's keeping you skiing and keep you safe. It takes a true team effort, and Coach Don Stump brings it all together.
We start grooming here as early as 8 o'clock in the evening when we quit skiing in the back corner, and we continue that grooming as we quit skiing over the entire mountain until 8 or sometimes 9 o'clock in the morning, and that goes 7 days a week.
It's run much like a military operation. The result, a near-perfect science of making and keeping snow in southwestern Pennsylvania's climate. The recipe demands up to 30,000 gallons of water per minute to the appropriate snowmaker towers, then striking a balance between air and water pressure and temperature. Turning it into snow flurries is equally challenging. How do they do that?
The water droplets leave the nozzle. They're broken into small particles. As they float through the air, we call that dwell time. The heat actually leaves the water droplet as it falls through the air. The objective is to freeze it as close to the nozzle as possible so that we have the maximum amount of dry time as the water droplet falls to the ground.
Once it's snow, it's up to the groomers to make it safe for you to ski. 9 13-ton machines plow, spread, rake, and pack the new snow. They also return the snow that skiers brought down the hill through the day back up the mountain and level out the moguls that were created by side-to-side ski traffic during the day. It takes 3,300 gallons of diesel fuel, 56 people, 100 million gallon water supply, 816 snowmaking towers, a lot of experience, and the cooperation of Mother Nature each night of the ski season to keep you safe, happy, and skiing at Seven Springs.
It's an amazing operation, and as a matter of fact, most things up here are pretty amazing, especially the weather today. You've got to make some plans to come up this week. And stay with us, because we've got more of Winterfest 98 coming up. All kinds of fun live from Seven Springs.
Hi, I'm Andrew Stock.
And I'm Sally Wicken.
We're at Winterfest and we're skiing all this week and next weekend.
Tons of stuff to do all week, and be sure to be here next Saturday for the great media race. Andrew and I are racing.
It's awesome.
We're back live at Seven Springs for Winterfest 98. I'm Liz Miles. And as we all know, skiing safety has been in the news a lot this season, so we thought that we would talk with Dick Barron, Seven Springs Ski Patrol, about this whole issue. Can you give us an idea of how concerned we should be about the safety issues on the slopes?
Well, as in any sport, there is an element of risk, and you should be aware of the risk. If you take good common sense, prepare yourself physically, have proper equipment, and follow the skier's responsibility code, it's as safe as any sport can be.
Are you seeing skiers with helmets?
Yes, in the past few years we've seen an increase of helmets, and that safety aspect is certainly a good issue to follow through, yes.
And who are they good for? Beginning skiers?
They're good for all ages, not specifically for one, although we're seeing more younger children wear them due to the parents' concern. Protects them from a skier who might be skiing in ahead of them and accidentally fall into them.
And lots of kids who grow up riding their bikes with helmets don't think it's strange to wear a helmet when they're going fast.
That's very correct. They're used to it. They almost look forward to using it. Yes.
And so for parents, we know that people can ski now at the age of 3 or sometimes younger. Parents who are concerned about their kids on the slopes, maybe not from what they would do, but from another skier, what's the best advice you can give them to give their kids?
Well, first of all, follow all signage on the slopes. Make them follow the rules as you were driving on the highways. There are closed signs, there are caution signs, there are merging signs. Let them know that these are to be obeyed, and once they start obeying them and following these rules, it becomes a very safe sport and a very courteous sport.
Well, thank you so much, and we hope we'll have a very safe season up here. Right now, we're going to catch up with Jerry Marks, who is on the slopes. You're not skiing today, though, at least yet, Jerry.
Well, I'm trying to maintain my balance on this hill. It's fantastic conditions, though, here on the hill, Liz, and also if you're skiing or snowboarding. Also, great conditions at the tubing park, which has some vast improvements made in the past calendar year. Some of those improvements include stretching out the park from 3 to 6 tubing runs. They extended the runs to 700 feet, which is an additional 300 feet from last year. There are now 2 tow lifts, one on either side to carry the patrons up, and there are also new tubes which have a webbing on the bottom to keep you from falling through if you're one of the smaller ones. It's also, to be noted, a great family activity, although you have to be 4 years old or older to take part in the tubing, and there are no lessons required, so it's a great family thing for people of all ages, again, as long as you're 4 and above. And there are 2-hour sessions, and the 2-hour sessions are more than enough tubing runs to make it a complete day. And if you want to, of course, ski or snowboard, Tubing Park is the place for you to go. Also, I'll have more about the winter activities, of course, and the week-long forecast to tell you how things are going to pan out here weather-wise coming up. Liz, back to you.
Thanks, Jerry. And you know, with the perfect weather we're having, I don't know if you can see the blue sky behind me, but it really is gorgeous up here. Great weather, plenty of snow. They were making it last night. You couldn't ask for a better way to kick off Winterfest 98. Ski conditions are fantastic. The festivities are underway, so stay tuned. We're coming right back.
I'm Minnie Becerra.
And I'm Nina Pineda. We're at Winterfest having a great time.
The skiing is awesome.
So come on up. Winterfest runs through February 8th.
Welcome back to Winterfest 98. This is a celebration that's going to be continuing all next week and through next weekend. And when we tell you that there is something, some activity for everyone and every interest, we really mean it. There's all kinds of things to do up here. And right now we're going to give you a little sneak peek of what you can look forward to next weekend. On Friday, snow tubing over in the new and improved Sun Bowl. The Tiny Tot ski race is always fun to watch. And on Saturday, the Winterfest Craft Show, a great way to enjoy the mountains and the resort without ever getting cold. And of course, there is the great media race, a hardcore downhill competition among the most athletic media celebrities. Last year, Sally Wiggin was the winner of that race, and she is going to be trying very, very hard this year to retain her title. And Jerry, I want to know if you are waxing up your skis for your first big competition.
That's right, Liz. I expect some stiff competition from Sally Wiggin. I got my skis sharpened and ready. I'm going to take a couple of runs across the course, hopefully early next weekend to get into shape. And we're joined once again by the familiar face, Herb Stevens, a skiing weatherman, who joins us each Thursday morning on WTAE-TV News. Herb, we talked about the fact that you've been pretty much all over the country, or even a few spots in the world. The one thing that we wanted to ask you, though, how do you think that the snowmaking here at Seven Springs compared to some of the other places that you've seen?
Well, snowmaking is the subject one this year because of El Nino. We don't have a lot of natural snowfall in this part of the world in the mid-Atlantic. We haven't had a lot of extended cold air, so when you think about making plans to ski or snowboard, you have to look at the people who are most efficient at churning out snow. Seven Springs is right at the top of the list. They do a wonderful job. Most of this base here, and they've got hundreds of acres of open terrain right now, everything's open, most of it's machine-made snow. So, and it's also important to remember that machine-made snow is 5 times as dense as natural snow, so it melts slower, it's more impervious to a thaw than natural snow would be, and that's very important if you're sitting home in Pittsburgh and you haven't seen snow on the ground in 3 weeks.
And that's the case because to my knowledge, there's not much snow back in the Berg, and of course we're sitting on about 3 feet right now. And another interesting note that even if you're skiing and, as you said, taking up snowboarding, that the conditions really couldn't be better.
Yeah, it's really nice out here right now, and you know, you and I were talking a few minutes ago. I've taken up snowboarding. I did it a couple of years ago because, as you pointed out, snowboarding now accounts for about 20% of the business, winter sports, snow sliding business. And if I don't snowboard, then 20% of the audience that cares about winter sports is tuning me out. So I've taken it up. I'm getting there.
Well, I appreciate you joining us once again, however. I think we're going to take a look at the forecast for the next couple of days into the middle of next week, which does include some warmer temperatures, but as we've been talking about, they can make a ton of snow up here, and that's just what they're going to do. Temperatures today are expected to be in the 40s. We're looking for similar temperatures to persist into the middle of the upcoming week. That's not to say that the nighttime hours are not going to be cold enough to make some snow, because a couple of them will be, although we're calling for some rain showers by Tuesday and into Wednesday. I do not think that it's going to be a complete washout, and I certainly don't think that it's going to be enough to erode what we're seeing here as a very, very thick base at Seven Springs, in which I'm sure it'll continue to be a fantastic ski season, hopefully into April or even beyond. So things looking great up here. Liz, on the slopes, back to you at the lodge.
Thanks, Jerry, and I think now Jerry has earned some off time. I hope he's going to strap on his skis and enjoy this great day on the mountain. And we invite all of you to come up and do the same thing, whether it's today or any time this week or next weekend. This is Winterfest 98 at Seven Springs. I want to thank you all for joining us for a sneak peek of Winterfest 98. I'm Liz Miles. It's going to be a great week. Please come on and join us. And right now, Sheldon Ingram is up next with Inside Pittsburgh.
Winterfest 98 at Seven Springs. A sneak peek has been brought to you by your All-Star Jeep Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your All-Star Jeep Eagle dealers. And by TCI. For digital service, call 771-1300. By Best Buy in Robinson Town Center, Century 3, South Hills and North Hills. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea. By IKEA. It's a big country, someone's got to furnish it. And by Aerial Communications, your local wireless company that offers true per-second billing, local calls in 412 and 814, and no long-term contracts. By Reese Warehouse. Between Uniontown and Morgantown, why buy retail? By Reese. By hell of a good quality foods. You'll love it, we swear. And by Kohl's. The brand names you love, the low prices you need. Kohl's, that's more like it.